I'm not certain if suburbs are, well, first of all, I'm not certain they're set up for larger influx of population.
Hello and welcome to CU Live. I'm Susan Post, Associate Editor of Columbus Underground, and I have with me today David Staley, who is an Associate Professor of History at OSU, Futurist, and contributor on CU. So today I want to talk a little bit about the future of Columbus and kind of where you think our population is going to end up. So in some of your next columns, you've written a few articles looking at scenarios for that population spread. And the articles are from like 2016, 2017. So I want to see if some of those ideas are still on your radar. A few of them specifically focused on, Columbus's rapid growth and how that has the potential to push poorer or lower income residents out to the suburbs and what effect that would have. So do you think Columbus has seen this happen over the last few years? And is it something that we should still be aware of happening?
It's something we should still be aware of. I'm not seeing the evidence, the dramatic evidence of it. When I wrote that piece, I was I was thinking about, and I should sort of add, I'm not hoping that we have more poverty, but I think sometimes in our projections about where the large population increase the city is going to face, we very rarely have conversations about where the people that live at the lower end of the spectrum are going to live. And my sense is that that will probably be more out in suburban areas, especially as development happens here in the downtown area.
And we'll talk a little bit more about that in a minute here. And in that article, you were talking about how that kind of would come with its own set of issues as far as, suburbs not having some of the direct resources that the inner city would have. So kind of lay out what you meant by that and what those issues could potentially be.
I'm not certain if suburbs are, well, first of all, I'm not certain they're set up for larger influx of population.
Right.
And that includes things like the infrastructure necessary for that. So that would, I think, be a concern. If the population of the city is going to grow, it has to go somewhere.
Right. Great. And so on the flip side, there was this other idea that you were writing about that some suburbs will kind of turn into their own little cities or urban suburbs. And I think we have definitely seen that with Bridge Park and Dublin. Hardcore. So you think we're going to see that with other suburbs of Columbus?
I do, yes. I would anticipate Marysville looking like that. Even as far as south as Lancaster, I think. We could see that sort of development, such that they're not suburbs as we've sort of traditionally thought of them, as sort of adjuncts to a major city, but really providing the amenities that we associate with cities right there. Yeah. And that's not just simply housing and those sorts of things. It's like cultural activities.
Yeah. And do you think that you mentioned Lancaster and Marysville? Do you think that those are kind of going to the population's going to spread far enough to sort of connect all of these areas if it hasn't really already?
Yes, I do, and it'll spread northward as well. We could be talking even as far as Marion as being part of this larger urban concentration.
Right. Like you said, got to go somewhere.
You got to go somewhere.
So we've been focusing on the suburbs, but I want to talk a little bit more about the urban core and kind of what do you see for Columbus, the future of Columbus's urban core population-wise?
More apartments. I think the last skyscraper, sort of office tower that we built in the city was maybe the late 90s, I think. And I'm really struck by the kind of building that we're seeing now. That's largely residential, and I see that trend continuing.
So more urban infill, you would say. Great.
Yes. Not that we'll reach, we could reach the levels that we did in the 50s. There were like something on the order of like 50,000 people that lived in downtown Columbus. We're nowhere near that, and I don't know if we'll hit that, but it'll be a much larger number of people living downtown.
Because the downtown population now, I think, is about 13,000?
Something on that order.
Something along those lines, so definitely not 50, but I know it's grown a lot over the last several years. I mean, what about some of the other neighborhoods kind of surrounding downtown? Do you think we're going to see that same kind of growth that we have down here in those areas?
Yes, growth in population, but then also the kind of infill we're talking about. So where apartments and restaurants and things are going to be built.
Great. Well, thanks so much for talking a little bit about the future of Columbus.